All right, welcome to another episode of the Muscle Maturity Podcast. We are on episode number 86. I'm here with Samir Bannout, 1983 Mr. Olympia, Marcus Guerrero from Old School Labs, and I am John Hansen. And guys, we are going to continue our discussion of the Mr. Olympia. We didn't talk about the classic physique last week, so we got to talk about that. And then we got a couple other topics in the news this week. So how you guys doing? All right?
Not bad. Thank God. So far, so good. We're getting better weather here. So, been training and recovered from Las Vegas. You know how it is. You have so many friends. You come and burn out. You lose your voice, but it was good. How about you, Marcus? How's things?
I'm good. I'm visiting family. I'm in Florida now, so I'm I can officially take off the hoodie. I'm happy about that. Walk around, get some
What
sun.
part of Florida?
Central Florida. It's like Orlando.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So
That's an hour away from you, Jean.
yeah,
About.
we got good weather now. No humidity anymore. So
oh yeah, it's nice. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to being out there. As soon as I get done this,
and you missed the hurricanes too, so you came at
I
the
know.
right time, Mark.
Came at the best time. Yeah, just get to see a little couple debris
Keep
here
that
and
away.
there.
Keep that away. Keep that away. No more hurricane. Oh my God.
Oh, my grandma
man.
was giving me such a hard time. Like she thought a hurricane was gonna come back around, and no, it happened. It's happened before. It'll come back. It happened in South Carolina. So I'm like, oh, grandma, I'm good. I promise you, I'm good. It'll be all right.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk about the Classic Physique Olympia. Chris Bumstead won his sixth title, and then he retired. And Mike Sommerfeld from Germany was a surprise second place. Nobody was expecting that.
Mm-mm.
And then third place went to Urs. That was kind of a surprise. I didn't think he would place that high, but he came in really peak condition. And then Breon dropped to fourth. He was second last year. No, I'm sorry, not Breon, Ramon. And then Breon got fifth. And Wesley Vissers was supposed to be, he was saying that it was going to be between him and Bumstead. He said he was going to beat Bumstead. He only ended up in eighth after winning the Arnolds. So that was kind of a shock too.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
Samir, what'd you think about Bumstead winning his sixth title?
I kind of predicted it, since he declared that it was his last year, his final year. And, Bumstead, he knows what he's doing. And, and when you have Dino, who's not looking his best, I think he was flat. And, but I was also impressed with the German guy, Mike, how'd you say his last name? Something Sommerfeld? I thought he was very, very good. Yeah, I think he's very good. I would say a little bit more arm would be the guy who's going to take over. But I hope Dino will come back and, fill up a little bit better. I think Bumstead, it was Bumstead, the one we know, who posed properly. He comes in shape. And he know how to show it, Bumstead is a bodybuilder who use his intelligence, not just I'm the biggest guy or I'm like this. He posed with confidence and he aimed at the judges properly and hit his poses. Most of them not, but I was very impressed with Urs posing routine. I think Urs posed really good. And if Urs can put on a little bit more beef, I'd like to see him with 10 more pounds and a little bit more improvement on his arm. If he does, it could
Can he
be
gain
his.
10 more pounds and still be in the limit?
He probably need 10 more pounds, John. I would say, you need extra beef.
He won't be over the weight limit if he gains 10 more pounds. They got a weight.
I don't know the weight limit. Is it? I'm not sure about that, but
probably over.
I don't know. I don't know about the weight limit in his class. I didn't really see the show, but I saw him in the final, yes, and I like his routine, but I felt he was somewhat flat. He could have been another 4 or 5 pound fuller, just reserve. And, most of them are, but the thing is Bumstead, he peaks properly. So, yeah, he walked away with the title again, and I'm happy for him. This is his last and final show, as according to what I heard. What he said, his speech was very moving, and it's very nice, outspoken. Very nice gentleman, and I'm really happy for him. So, but I mean, any of these 4 guys can make major changes for the following year, but they need to do things properly.
Marcus, what do you think of Mike Sommerfeld getting second?
I mean, it definitely was a shock, in a good way. Like, I mean, well deserved. I mean, so last year, Ramon, I think, was, right there with Bumstead. I think he looked so sharp. Ramon looked incredible. So I was really looking forward to how Ramon was going to come in this year. However, clearly who took that spot was Mike. And I think this is the most we've seen Bumstead get pushed. I mean, that the width that this guy carries. Yeah. I mean, he has a fullness. This guy's big. His back, I mean, clearly the best back shot on stage. I was really impressed. Legs, a lot of size in the legs. So it just, I mean,
do you think he's classic, or does he have more of a bodybuilder physique?
Man, him and Michael DeBoule, I've always thought would be better fit for a bodybuilding. I mean, even Breon, but I think Breon still fits the mold for classic for me. And I think we saw that this year. But I feel like him and Michael, I'd love to see how their bodies would look going into, actual bodybuilding, because they both have that width, that size, and you could tell they can put on more size. I mean, it's especially Matt. Matt has that physique to where he can really still has a very small waist, even though it's kind of, it doesn't look like that in certain poses, but his waist is tiny and his lats help. Mike Sommerfeld.
Wow.
He looks like just from the back unbeatable. Came in just 100%, took Bumstead to deep waters. So I mean, congrats to him for that, because that is no small feat. Sucks that we didn't see people like Terrence in this last showing. I'd love to see that. I think it was a pleasure to see him and Breon go at it, especially how good Breon looked. I've always been a fan of Breon for the posing, for the physique. He's just a very masterful dude. So I appreciated everything that came with it. But I think go ahead.
When Sommerfeld does some of these poses, he looks classic, but he's got a lot of thickness. He's got really thick back and thick chest, big legs.
Yeah, the legs.
And I actually thought Sommerfeld looked better at night. He was peaked, and Chris looked flat. I thought Chris had him beat at the prejudging, but at the night show, Chris was really flat. And I was there. It's like Sommerfeld beat him on every pose when they were comparing him. So, but I kind of had a feeling Chris was going to win.
Especially in the legs. I noticed that as far as the difference between Bumstead and Mike, the legs, especially the side shots, there's a lot fuller legs on Sommerfeld in comparison.
Yeah, he was just – I don't know why Chris flattened out at night, but it's just a one-day show. But he looked flat at night. But you want to talk about posing? Sommerfeld had an incredible routine. Great music, great routine. He had the best routine of the night.
Yeah,
Erzner's good. And Chris Bumstead always has a great routine. Always. Every year.
Yeah.
Great music.
You were talking about that, yeah.
That's why he wins. That's why he...
I wish the judges would bring back judging the posing round for the classic guys, because these guys are great posers.
Yeah.
And I think it would be great if they judged it, and then if some guy moves up or some guy moves down because of the posing, I think that would be awesome.
Yeah. I was actually
I think even better, man. They're already good posers.
Yeah.
He's a good poser too, man. Look at I mean, Urs is a good poser, but again, I think Bumstead is in total control on stage, and he's always in shape. I don't know. I didn't know that he was flat at the night show, John. You think he was a little flat? He was.
Oh yeah, I was sitting next to Dennis James, and we were like, man, that Mike had him beat on every single pose.
Yeah, I didn't see the prejudging, but you did see the prejudging. I only saw the final.
Yeah, prejudging. I took some pics from prejudging. I sent them to Scott. I thought Bumstead looked great at the prejudging. I thought he had a one pretty convincing.
I thought Breon could have done better too. For some reason, I placed him another, probably a little bit higher. Don't you think Breon was better?
This was Chris at the prejudging. He was full and hard.
How was Erz's color at prejudging? Because on the stream, he looked a little off as far as color goes.
Yeah, he could have been darker.
Because when I saw actual the after photos and videos, I was really blown away by Erz as well. But on camera, it was just totally different story.
I think Chris was like 241. But look how good Sommerfeld looks here next to Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially look at them the legs. Wow.
Yeah. He's full and hard. Real tiny waist,
Yeah.
you're right.
I think he'll be better next year and probably takes it next year. Yeah, he looks good.
Yeah, it'll be interesting next year because it's wide open. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's like really far, like we're so far ahead, but like who would you guys have as your, like, you know, if you had to, rather it's a black horse, a biased fan, whatever, who can you see who fits the qualifications to be that guy? Obviously, there's going to be a lot of Sommerfeld right now, but who can you see kind of, you know, stepping up for a classic?
You think most of these guys, John, they
was off, but I mean, Wesley could pose a challenge. Urs has got a lot of momentum now. I mean, Ramon seems to have problems just peaking because I think he has to lose too much weight at the end. He ends up flat. He was flat. I think he's too big and he's got to lose too much weight for that weight cap. And they just raised the weight cap, I think, recently, right? Then they raised it like 10 pounds, and he's still like, oh, you know, he still has to lose muscle in order to make the weight.
The problem, John, I think most of these guys in the classic, they're mentally beaten before they come to the show. Everybody's going, yeah, I know I'm going to take second place for Bumstead.
Right.
That's how I see it. Nobody, I mean, listen, Ramon have the best body. I said it before. Ramon has the best body, but the best, including Bumstead. I think genetically, Ramon should win this show. But, I mean, this time he came in way too flat. Again, I told everyone, if I want to pick a body for me to take, for me to have, would be Ramon. So he's flat. So most of these guys are mentally worried about Bumstead. So next year, let's see what these guys, they're going to come in looking a lot better. Because they know Bumstead is out of the picture. So, you know, everybody's going to come in doing it better. They're probably more mentally relieved that Bumstead is no longer there. They have a complex called Bumstead, I think.
Yeah.
But
Chris said
Ramon's body, man. He said that?
Chris said that. Chris said that these guys will say to him, you know, I'm going to win this year. But he goes, when I look them in the eyes, I could tell they don't really believe it.
I swear I didn't hear this. I swear I didn't hear it from Chris. But it seems like that to me. You know, they know automatically, oh, you know what? Bumstead, I can't beat Bumstead, so I'm going to shoot for second.
Right.
Yeah. Guys like Ramon, listen, honestly, Ramon had an opportunity to be better. Look at that body. He's a pretty, really beautiful body.
What do you guys think of Bumstead's physique this year?
I think Bumstead's body. Look, let me analyze Bumstead for you. I'm going to analyze Bumstead. Shoulders to waist ratio is incredible.
Yeah,
I can see better arms on Bumstead. Okay, I can see. You know, I mean, Bumstead, I don't know. There's something in his body that personally I'm not a big fan of some of the parts. But he's coming in prepared and he's winning. But again, he's deservingly winning. But is he beatable? This is a question here. Bumstead is beatable. But these guys don't believe they can beat him. Okay? So he's masterful on stage, comes in peaked every time. He's ready. Sometimes you win on quality, and he's always have that quality. So he's ready. He's confident. You can see Bumstead, I'm here to win. Some of those guys are not sure of themselves, like even Ramon, I love his body. He's just not up there, you know, that thinking he could really beat Bumstead. But he could. It's too late now. Bumstead is gone. Unbeatable.
Yeah.
You know, impressive. Very impressive.
What do you think, Marcus?
Well, I think because something that's like so blaring to me is what both of you guys kind of touched base on is one, what Bumstead said at that press conference, as far as like, I look in their eyes and I can tell it's like, I don't believe it. I don't believe them. And you see what, you know, Samir is saying, these people are already beat before they come in. And I think that it's sad how true that is. And it's not matched because you see someone who's saying things like that, like Bumstead and what he's saying, even though he's such a nice guy, he has that killer instinct. He comes in with the mindset of I'm above you, and you need that. It's a
Yeah.
competition. You need that. It's a competitive sport. So
Yeah.
I think it just really goes to show that, a lot of these people, you see them. I was so annoyed last year, and I don't mean to sound whatever, and I'm not big on drama, but like, I'm not trying to be friendly with somebody on stage. And I feel like Ramon was super friendly with Bumstead on stage and things like that, to where I'd be doing everything I can to be in front of him, to make him like, and after
To
that,
be
we can
more
be buddy buddy,
serious,
we can
more
hug.
serious.
100%, yeah. And that's one thing I liked about Breon early on, because you could tell Breon had that same mentality. Obviously now there's a little bit more of a camaraderie, but I think it goes to show how important the mentality, the mindset is. You have to have that to beat this guy, because he has it. He's never going to come in unpolished, especially when it comes to the mental. He's on a game 24/7. So I feel like when you're coming in trying to just hug and kiss, it's
Marcus, that happened too. You're right, Marcus. That happened when Lee Haney was winning the Olympia. All the contestants really, they want Haney. But deep down inside, they're gonna say, "Well, I think Haney is hard to beat. He's so huge, shoulder to waist ratio is incredible. He comes in ready." So really, they didn't really believe that they can beat Haney, and that's why he won it all these time in a row. Same thing with Coleman. They got to the point where, like, in their mind, they are beaten before they go to the show. You cannot have doubt when you compete. And so
you've already lost.
Yeah, I saw an
that's what
interview
happened
with
here
Chris
with
earlier.
Monta.
I saw an interview with Chris earlier in the year, and he said these guys will come up to him, want to take a picture with him at backstage, and he goes, "They're not ready to beat me. If they want to take a picture with me, they're not ready to beat me. They're more fans than competitors."
And if I ever heard that, I would never take a picture with him again. Like, if I'm his competitor, if I'm up there, I can't,
Right.
I get one to do that, but no, there's no way, man. I'm not giving somebody that. Like, we can hug and whatever after, but no, there's no way. I feel like parts of my soul is getting taken from me, if I'm being completely honest. Like, it just makes Bumstead look that much bigger, honestly.
And look at what happened to Gaspar. And look at what happened to Gaspari all these years. Gaspari comes in great shape, shredded, hard like a rock. But they cannot take that Haney ahead of me off their head. I competed with Haney. I honestly felt like I was attacking Haney verbally before my show. I used to say, "Hey, I'm the Lion and Kingdom's going to be attacked by a lion," thing like that. I really felt that I could beat Haney, because in 83, I did. In 84, it was very, very close. And then I had some issue where they didn't even want me in the winner's circle. But that's what's happening right now. You have to believe that you can. Like Labrada and Gaspari tried so hard. They thought they could take Haney, but you got to make that in your head before you go against Lee Haney. And so he left unbeaten. So
and
Haney
it's hard to
wasn't
be
simple.
It's hard to be a champion. It's easier, I think, to be an underdog and then to try to win the title, when nobody's expecting you to. But when you're the champ and you come back every year, that's a heavy crown. Like they say, the king has a heavy crown. And I think, credit to Bumstead, man. He really handled himself very, very well, like a champion all 6 years. And when you start winning it like 5-6 times, even though you may be well-liked, and I think he's the most well-liked champion ever since probably Arnold or Lee Haney. I mean, everybody loves Bumstead. But I think, after you start winning it so many times, people want to see you lose. They want to see someone else come up and take it. So that's hard to maintain. It's hard to be mentally strong like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And this guy's a young guy, and he's got so many followers, and he's making lots of money. It would have been really easy to let that go to your head and get cocky or get arrogant. And man, Bumstead is not arrogant. He's down to earth. He's super nice. He knows what's important in life. So I really give this guy credit. Like you said, Samir, he gave that great speech. He gives great speeches every year. He's really well-grounded. Nice. And for such a young guy, man, I have complete, total respect for this guy. What a great champion. I think people are going to remember him for a long time. And he was a fantastic champion.
Yeah, I feel like if anybody ever questions why he's so popular, they can listen to his speeches, and you can tell why. You can really see the humility and you can see him eye to eye. You feel like that's he's talking to you. So I mean, if anybody ever questions his popularity, I think any of these 2021, 22, 23, all these speeches for his Olympia wins. That can kind of give you an idea.
And despite, like
Lots
you
of
said,
money.
Marcus, being a nice guy, he's a champion, man. He's got that hunger, and he comes
Yep.
back every year and he wins it. But he's, like I said, he's grounded. He knows the important things in life. He's humble, but he's
He knows
still
how to
confident
win.
enough.
He knows how to win.
Yeah.
He knows
Yeah.
how to
He
I
win.
mean,
plays Big
That's
Brother.
look at Derek. Look at Derek this year. I mean, he won last year, and he had a lot of pressure on him, and I think he kind of let the pressure kind of get to him. You know, it's hard to come back year after year and win and win and win. It's very, very tough, mentally as well as physically.
For
Absolutely.
sure. For
Yeah.
sure. You know, I just saw all the guys standing out there, and I look at the frame of Ramon. I call him Dino. Everybody does. Ramones have beautiful package. He put together really, really pretty. But I think he cannot break that mental barrier, or I can beat Bumstead. So Bumstead, he knows how to win. Simple as that. I knew he was going to win. The first he walked out on stage, he won. So, yeah, great champion.
Yeah.
Smart champion, too. So,
It's very 48 laws of power things
All right,
going on that I see. Honestly, like it's a lot of like
what's that?
even bringing Dino into his his camp. They were working together as far as from a business standpoint. I mean, it's to me it's just intelligence. It's smart. It's very like I said, it reminds me of the Art of War and 48
Yes.
Laws of Power and things like that. It's a killer instinct that not many people have, or I feel like you have to go through certain things in life to garner that type of energy and that willingness, that mindset, that power.
and you know that, and you know what, Marcus, the way I respect him for, like, he worked with set 3 coaches. He was with one coach, he was winning. And he went to Hani Ramboy, he was winning. And then he went on his own, the last prep. But he's a champion, he knows how to win. He doesn't really need extensive help with coaching because he's been there, done that. So he proved it once again. Great champion, and I'm really happy for him.
Yeah.
He used Hadi this last time, didn't he?
Yeah, he was with Hadi.
Didn't he use Hadi this last year? Yes, no? You guys don't know?
Yeah, he definitely had. He definitely had Hani up to this. Like he has had Hani for the last 3 years now.
Oh,
I guess.
yeah.
Before that, it was like Ian for a good bit, which I think that's kind of Ian has alluded to that as far as like, I didn't have to do much. He's, I didn't, it's Bumstead. Like he has the package. He could have probably been coached by whomever, and he would have probably been if not the winner.
Who coached him before Hani? Do you know?
His brother-in-law, Ian Belair.
His brother-in-law. Okay. Yeah, I think it's just, I don't think he really needs coaches because he knows what he's doing. But I mean, he looked great when he was with Hadi for 2 years. He didn't really go backward. So that's the good things about CBUM. And now I see this photo and I look at Derek. I'm puzzled why Derek couldn't be at his all-time best. Because really, up till 2 weeks before the show, I saw Derek that's why in the prediction, I thought Derek would win it all. And that's how important it is peaking. Peaking is everything. I don't know how they missed this peak. I do not know. So.
I think they overtrained him at the end. He lost his legs. That's what it looked like to me. But this was a photo shoot taken the day after, and he doesn't look like his legs are smaller there. So.
No, he filled up. I bet you he looks incredible even right now. I mean, he was beyond prepared. It was just full. It was flat. I think it was at least 5-6 pounds of reserve below his muscle wasn't popping, when you flat, you look softer. Yeah. But look at his genetics. Just standing there, he's got the body. Look at how beautiful shoulders. The arms are full, muscle belly. I think Derek, man, is dangerous. I mean, very dangerous. That's why I thought he would win it, but he was off. He wasn't the Derek that we were accustomed to see the final 2-3 weeks. So look at his legs, look great here. Is that after or what?
I think it was before.
Yeah, and even here he could be fuller. He's not. He dropped quite a bit of mass. The final 2 weeks were probably there's major muscle loss, and I don't think he peaked properly, in my opinion. With all due respect to Hadi or whatever he did, I'm sure Hadi told him what he usually does. But then again, sometimes your own mind can flatten you out. if you like worked out and worried about everything minute to minute, that'll flatten you out. So I don't know exactly what happened, but I still love his body, and I think, I would never take him out of the top 3 ever. Maybe the top 2. So I'm shocked that he came in 3rd. Really, yeah.
Well,
Great
let's
guy.
talk about the Arnold Classic. Hadi said he's not coming back this year to do the Arnold Classic. He looked spectacular last year when he's super ripped. What do you guys think about that? About Hadi sitting out of the Arnold Classic?
Maybe he made enough money. He doesn't want more money. I mean, Hadi he could take another shot at Samson because he's already there. All he needs to do is just maintain what he have and re-peak. I thought also Hadi was about a couple of pounds or maybe 3-4 pounds. And I was talking with Dennis, not Dennis James, I was talking with, who was it? We were talking to we did the after Olympia interview.
Milos?
No.
Palumbo.
Dave. So Dave told me that he felt that Hadi was 5 pounds or so smaller size wise, and I honestly have to agree. I think even though Hadi was super ripped and he looked incredible, but he was that bit below his usual size. And then I agree, that's what happened. And I thought, if he competed at Arnold Classic, he's already there. Might as well. The worst thing could happen, he can get another big check. And we're talking what, almost right around the corner. So it's easy. You don't need to prep. Just re-peak. That's it.
So you think he should do it?
Well, he's already back in Iran. I mean, if I was him, I would, because your body's already there. All you got to do, rest for a few days and come back, focus, re-peak. Re-peaking is nothing. Just, keep your body where it is and load up properly and get on stage again and take it. I'm sure, like the same thing. I mean, look at Samson is going in. It would be very unintelligent if he doesn't, unless you have a health issue. But Hadi looked healthy, looked good. I would have done it. I would have done it if I was Hadi. The worst thing could happen. Even Derek should do it. Is Derek going to do it, John?
He doesn't know yet. He hasn't made a decision.
I would. I mean, if they don't, Samson's going to walk away with it again.
Yeah. What do you think, Marcus?
I mean,
you think Hadi should do the Arnold again?
I think he 100% should. I think it's clearly for them, it's back to the drawing board. They're clearly putting Olympia as the forefront, which, I mean, it makes sense that, okay, Olympia is the biggest show, but I think there's a little bit of fear there. I think we just saw Samson look incredible. I think that there's a lot of people who are up and up. I think that,
I don't think it's fear.
It could just be smart, right? It could be intelligence. You can call it intelligence, but I think that the way Samson looked next to them, it's going into the Arnold. He's a past champion. I don't know. I think it's a losing battle to go do it for him, even though I still think he should.
Do you think it's because Samson was so much bigger, so Hadi figures he's got to get bigger and he needs the time to get bigger? Do you think that's why he's taking off?
Look, I think Hadi would make a good move by competing and improve himself. I think he could have been slightly fuller, even though from my perspective, it could have gone either way. It could have gone either way, to be truthful here. But again, I said it before, on quality, I picked Hadi, and on body and enough quality, Samson. So either or, I wouldn't have been disappointed at all. So therefore, if he's this close to the edge to really be at his best, I would do it. What the worst thing could happen? $250,000 more. You don't really have to work your ass off. But I'm going to tell you another surprise. If Andrewjacked re-peak, which is, I just saw a couple of photos of him, he looked like a massive powerhouse. I think Andrewjacked missed his peak. And I had a nice talk with Chris Aceto after the show. I mean, it's like I tell it every time. It's a water war. You're not really losing muscle there. You just need to fill up and get on stage popping. If Andrewjacked was popping, honestly, things could have been different. Look at this guy. I mean, he's massive. He's just as huge as Samson, and he didn't peak properly. I think with 5 additional fullness, I bet you it would even look much more ripped when he's like, what's the word we say it? Popping, right, John? That's my opinion. Yeah. So he need to fill up properly, and again, he need to have one chef in the kitchen. I think the fact he have Chris Aceto and Chris Lewis together, I think that's very intelligent. One of them should take over in that department when it comes about peak management. Some people say, oh, no, he's full enough. You're not going to get bad. You could fill up a little bit of water. It's simple to get rid of. Just fill up all the way. Go put your money in the piggy bank. Put your money in the bank, then go shopping. Load up. At the very worst case scenario, if you hold little water, it's easy to deal with intelligently. He need to come back and show the world that he's much better than he was at the Olympia. So Andrew is still dangerous. He has to re-peak. Same thing go to Derek. Derek should go, in my opinion. Derek should go. Hadi should go. All these guys should go. Start war again. I mean, it still be the same 4 guys we're talking about. But what's that?
I feel like I don't think we're gonna see Derek there. And don't get me wrong, like Hadi just devoured the last Arnold. Like Hadi, so it's like, but I do think it's a drawing board situation. Honestly, I think it's okay. We're gonna put our all into Olympia because I think that it just goes to show that this year's Arnold, I think anybody could win. If Hadi, whomever shows up, I think that all these guys we're referring to, Andrew, Martin, a lot of these people have the chance to show up and show out. So don't get me wrong by saying it's fear, but I do think that it's if I'm on the receiving end of that, I can see it as they don't want me, they don't want to touch me. They see what the force I am. But I mean, we just saw Hadi how forceful he is last year.
Marcus, from a peaking perspective here, I'm telling you, I've been there, done that. I know exactly where they're at. From Hunter Labrada to Hadi to Derek, it's a simple re-peak. And then you have a better mastery in redoing thing, and you would be like a different person.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. So even Martin could even look better. So I would, if it was me and there's only like a couple weeks in between, why not? It's smart. If it was like 2 months, then no, hell no.
So what do you think the reasoning would be?
2-3 weeks.
It's like 5 months. It's not a couple weeks.
It's a 5 months
From
apart.
October to March, 5 months.
Shoot! I'm sorry. So I usually it's only like 3 weeks in between, right, John? I didn't know that. No. If it's 5 months, then forget about it. I'll change. Yeah, if it's 5 months between Olympia and Arnold, I wouldn't do it. No, I wouldn't do it. But if it's 3 weeks away or 2 weeks away, most definitely I'll do it. So I'll take that back. I was thinking, then void everything I said. I'll take back because I was just thinking that Arnold is like 2-3 weeks away. Yeah, it's not. It's definitely not smart. If you got to rest that body, you cannot.
You look at all the guys if you look at the guys who won the Arnold, they always have a hard time peaking again for the Olympia. I mean, Flex Wheeler, he would look his greatest at the Arnold. He won like 4 Arnolds, but then he would get to the Olympia and he'd be off, And
but
I mean, John, Ronnie, that one year, Ronnie won the Arnold. He was off at the Olympia. He almost got beat by Jay Cutler that year.
So maybe Nick Walker can. Maybe Nick Walker can redo that since he messed up. I feel really bad for Nick Walker. But John, usually the Olympia Arnold Classic is only 2-3 weeks after the Olympia in the past, right? Am I right or wrong? Wasn't Arnold Classic was right after the Olympia usually?
No. It's always been in March.
A month? A month is not a problem, but 3 months is 4 months. No way, no.
It's always
I was
been
just thinking it's too. I thought it was like 2-3 months ago away, 2-3 weeks away. But anyway, so it's a different story right here. So,
what do you think about Samson doing the Arnold?
About who?
I mean, he needs to know where his health wise. If he's healthy enough, then check his, you know, you
I mean,
need to check.
He did it last year. He
And
got second to Hadi, and then
depend
he did the
depending
Paris show.
depending on the use and the abuse, John. Let's put it this way: you show me clean liver enzyme, you show me no health issue whatsoever, and that you are sane and you've been healthy, then I'll do it. But if you're going to tax your body and really beat the heck out of, actually, when you compete at the Olympia, if you want to do this show, your receptor already saturated with what you take. And, we know lots of anabolic involved in the body. Let's not bullshit ourselves. So if you've been using certain amount of anabolic, this is a normal issue talking about it here. We know bodybuilders have to use certain things. And so, therefore, if do even the medication that you are using, it will not work the same if you do it over again. So unless you let your body rest for 6 months or so. That's
So
from my perspective.
You think Samson's taking a risk then doing the Arnold? I mean,
I think Samson probably know what Samson's doing, and he's healthy, and he wasn't abusing or whatever. So therefore, he feels confidence. I'm sure he's not putting his health over money. I mean, the reason why I was saying that, I was thinking the show is like 2-3 weeks away, but no way I will continue to use the stuff for 3-4 months. It would be very unintelligent. So I misspoke. Yeah.
I mean, if you look at Samson the last couple of years, he's done the Olympia, then the Arnold, then the Olympia, then the Arnold. Now he won the Olympia this year. Now he's doing the Arnold again. So, I mean,
I don't know what he's doing.
Do
Well, I don't know what he's doing, but evidently his wife and him on the same page, and they're doing good. So therefore, I would do it if I'm in good health. Why not? But personally, if I'm competing at the Olympia, let's say I have a show in 2-3 weeks, of course I'll do it. But not if it's 2 months or 3 months away. Definitely not. Then it becomes a health issue, taxing the body, pushing the body to the point where you're going to get unhealthy. I wouldn't do it. No, hell no.
I feel like the.
what do you think about Andrewjack's champ? Go ahead, Marcus. Sorry.
No, it's real quick. I'm sorry.
Andrew?
I feel like the price tag really, really helps. But also, is this going to be the first competing Olympia winner for that year? Because most of them kind of wait till next Olympia to compete, right? Is this going to be the first one in a long time?
I can't remember a Mr. Olympia winner going right into the Arnold. I don't ever remember that before.
Yeah, so I think that in itself
it's
is
doable. It's doable. It's doable. There's a way to do it and protect your health. There are ways, of course, but
I
then
think if
again,
anybody could do it could be Samson. He seems like he can just keep competing. He doesn't seem like he runs out.
Again, I mean, for me personally, it's all based on the reading. You read, this is up, this is low, this is high. You need to be in good health before you think about taking any additional stuff to tax the body with toxics, unnecessary need. But you have guys where they will get off everything, okay, for maybe 4 weeks, and they try to do some cleansing. But during that period, they take certain things where they can maintain what they have and then change what they're doing. Because if you're going to take the same exact medication, your receptor already used to it, so you're not going to get the best result. You're not going to get the best benefit. So you have to take something a little different from what you took. I mean, I'm talking from experience. And yes, I did what I did back in the days under doctor supervision. So I did have a better perspective on why and why not. There is a reason. I know one thing: you don't do anything to tax your body and your health. You're definitely going to look at your red blood cell count. You got to look at your liver enzyme function. You got to look at kidney. All of that need to be checked before you make that attempt and make a decision to, I'm going to go to the show. Evidently, Samson is aware and he's doing it the healthy way. Well, that's very good. And so that's why he said he's doing it. If it was me and I would have to do exactly what I did at Olympia, I wouldn't do it. But if I have to do something different, there is a way where I can do it and be safe. There are ways.
Even if it's for $500,000?
Well, even if it's $500,000 and my health is in the middle, I won't do it. I will not do it because your health is everything. Winning is one thing, but enjoying the winning is the most important priority to me. I want to be healthy when I'm 70. I want to be healthy when I'm 75. I want to be healthy when I'm 80. And these guys at this age enjoy it. I mean, listen, Samson already made almost 700,000 by also winning the People Champion. $600,000 probably already have 10 exhibition lined up, and he's going to make $1 million between now and before the Arnold Classic. So I'm pretty sure he's smart. His wife is a smart coach, and they're going to do the right thing. From my perspective, I will not make a decision unless I make sure health is priority. Everything is checked 100%. And that goes for everyone. I'm sure, like, for example, Hunter Labrada. I mean, he looked great. He was ready. It could have been, based on the first round of prejudging, it could have been in the top 4. I didn't think he looked as good as the following day. But, I mean, his father's going to look at him. They're going to check him, make sure he's okay before attempting or doing the Arnold Classic. And that's what smart coaches will do. You don't force your athlete blindly. You got to make sure that health is top priority. I'm sure, John, you agree with me on that. Not the 500,000. Yeah. F with that. Health is wealth, right, Marcus?
Oh yeah.
What about Andrewjacked? Do you guys think Andrewjacked could pull off an upset and beat Samson?
I think Andrewjacked is dangerous. He needs to be full. He needs to re-peak. But again, I mean, between him and Chris, checking the health part of it, and if he's healthy enough, why not? I mean, he could.
What do you think, Marcus?
I think there's a couple people I won't ever, just. You got Andrew's on that list. Samson is on that list. Nick is on that list. And honestly, we got Martin's that list now as far as the people who I'm not going to sit there and say anything like they don't have a chance. At this point, I'm believers in those people right now. So I think going into the, Arnold 5 months down the road, a lot of changes can happen. We didn't see Andrew at his best even that year, right? Texas was a really good showing for Andrew. And imagine if I think he's always done. Yeah. So imagine if he comes into the
Arnold. Is it $500,000?
And that's right now.
It's $500,000.
Yeah. And that's that's before the little, the shots from Olympia as far as the, we're doing the money now. So who knows how Arnold's going to take that. And, he might make some surprises there in that moment,
Yeah.
So it'd be worth it in the sense of a price tag, of course, health is wealth and everything. Yeah. But there's a couple people I can never, I'm not going to ever, go against. I'm not betting against them. And that's those people. Andrew is 100% one of them. If we see him come how he came into Texas, it's going to be a different ball game. Not to say he could win, but I'm not to say he won't win or will win or beat Samson. I guess is the better word. Samson is.
Why do you think Dorian Yates competed once a year? Why do you think Lee Haley competed once a year? Why? Because they are rational. They understand that doing back-to-back another show and continue to be on the gear is going to tax their health. And that's what smart athlete will do. You don't put your money ahead of your health. And so unless you're 100% sure what's happening, that's a different ballgame. And so, these guys will really get, unhealthy if they want to force somebody to do certain thing. And then they will have a short career as well.
Yeah. Hey, Marcus, you brought up Nick, and something happened this week where we had all these athletes leave Matt Jensen, the coach. So Quentin Aria was the first one. He came out with a video, and he was basically saying that it was Matt's fault that he missed his peak last year because Quentin was looking really good last year. He was really big. He's got that incredible structure. And then he came into the show really small. And then right after he did that video, like 3 other guys dropped Matt. He had like 4 guys drop him in 1 week. So Nick Walker dropped him. Who were the other guys?
I got Brett Wilkins was another one.
Brett Wilkins dropped him. And Sean Clarita dropped him. And Sean came into the 212 Olympia this year small. And Nick didn't even compete because they said he wasn't ready. So what do you guys think about that? It was like, because Matt, has been accused of like dangerous practices because he was, coaching Dallas McCarver. Dallas McCarver passed away. But Matt did get a lot of these guys into great shape over the last few years, and it's just been like this last year. So obviously Matt knows what he's doing because he's helped these guys get in shape before. Do you think it's because he has dangerous practices, or do you think maybe he's just not into the coaching anymore? Because he's making a lot of money. He's part owner of Raw Nutrition, so he's making tons of money there. Married, he's got kids. Do you think he's just not really into the coaching anymore, or do you think it's because he doesn't know what he's doing?
If you ask me that question, I mean, in the past, I said good things about Matt, but I never met Matt. And yeah, he brings some of his athletes in good condition. And you can't deny that. I mean, Sean Clarita, whom I saw at Flex Lewis Gym before I left Las Vegas, and I think he was flat. He didn't look his best too. Sean agree on that. But then talking about Matt, I don't know. It seemed like I heard that he's not paying enough attention to his athlete. And so probably he's busy. So he's not 100% tunnel vision on the athlete. And you can't do that.
Right.
I mean, you got to really be on the same page with your athlete sometime day to day. Anything happen, you got to report. I mean, I have guys call me like, oh my God, almost every day. It drives me crazy. But, when you have guys at the Olympia level, you got to really put more tunnel vision on them. So is he an unhealthy coach? I don't know exactly what he does, what he give his athlete. So, but if they have bad issues in between them, that's something different. Or maybe he's not giving them enough time and attention. That's different. But I really cannot judge him as a coach without knowing exactly what he gives some of his athletes. I know some of the coaches, what they do, and I completely disagree. Again, we were just talking about if some of the athletes can do the Arnold Classic. It's really, some coaches will tell you to do it. I am not the coach who will tell you to do it unless I'm 100% sure that you're in good health, because that's my priority for the athlete. Matt Johnson had proved himself over and over as a coach that delivered, it brought athletes in top condition. So really, I cannot judge him about his style of coaching, but all I know that he did a good job coaching some of those great guys. I feel bad for Nick Walker because I really felt Nick Walker should have been on stage because he hadn't competed for a year. I mean, for God's sake, why not? So I don't know if it's Matt Johnson's fault. Some people told me it's Matt Johnson that made the decision for Nick Walker. And so I felt bad for Nick because I know Nick would have been, especially at this Olympia, and his condition always comes in. He comes in really in great condition. He would have done very well. As we saw, Martin and Hunter Labrada were also front runner. So I don't see why not Nick Walker coming in shredded and full, and he's so eager to compete. I am really shocked that he didn't compete. Do I think the coach made the right decision? Maybe Matt looked at his blood test, for example, and saw things that are not right. If that's the case, then Matt is right. But if there's any other reason, then Nick, Matt is wrong. Your athlete could.
They said they did it because Nick wasn't ready physically.
Well, what do you mean? He wasn't ready. I mean, well, you need to get ready. What do you mean? That's no excuse. Why are you not ready? You come training for the Olympia. You got to be ready for the Olympia. Don't say I'm not ready. Right. Why? He wasn't competing. So I don't know what. I mean, Nick just said that.
Nick say on social media this week, I saw him say, no matter what they say about you, everybody loves a comeback. But do you think this would be a comeback? I mean, I think a comeback would be if he went in the show and got like 10th, and then he could make a comeback. But if you don't do the show, what are you coming back from, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think he should have come back. He should have really made a good. I think Nick Walker would not go on stage looking like hell. I know his spirit. I know he is eager to come back. I saw him last year sitting in the wheelchair. I just him said hi. But I know Nick is eager to compete, and I would have loved to see him being up there doing his best he could. There's no reason to say he's not ready. What the hell? What's up? Why he's not ready? You had one whole year. Your health should be
That's $1
checked.
million question.
Then again, we need to know. Maybe he has some health issue that actually felt that it's not a good thing for his health. Not to, so Nick Walker, you should rest this show. Maybe we'll do the Arnold Classic. I don't know what went on, so it's very hard for me to judge. I don't know exactly what happened. So, but I hope Nick Walker will make a comeback because I know he's like anxious and he wants it bad. Hopefully he'll do the Arnold Classic, and I honestly don't think he needs coaching. He doesn't. After doing it for years, even you should know. You should also learn your body as you go. Why do you want to rely on the coach every time? You didn't do that. I didn't do that, Sean. Peaking is simple. Once you learn, compete 2-3 times, you should be able to be in the driver's seat.
Yeah, you should know your body.
You should know after 3-4 competition. You should. Anyway, no comment on when it comes to Matt Jansen, he's just hard for me to pinpoint what happened. That's all.
You gonna say something, Marcus?
I mean, I feel like just to touch base really quickly on Nick, I think that with Nick, with the injury and things like that, I get both sides of it as far as like, even though I'm not saying I agree with this, but it wouldn't make sense for me. Like it makes sense that if I'm not 100%, I might not want to come in because out of fear that it could like lower my stock, because we automatically are going to put this guy as a top level. He's top 3 in the world. We're always going to kind of put him, or at least top 5 in the world. We're always going to put him at that level. So I do understand why something like that may like, attribute to like my final decisions on things, rather it's with a coach helping me or we're brainstorming this together, or just letting our thoughts fly. But I do think that the one person who got the really short end of the stick with it was Quinton Araya. As far as that's the most it shows the most of how bad it was that after 2 years of training he looked like he got so much size put on, and then he looked a lot downsized coming into that show. So man, I think everybody else has really, to see what happened with Sean looks good. I mean, Sean just won Olympia last year, Clarita. Brett Wilkin just looked incredible at his last show. Was it 2 years? Oh, yeah, 2 years ago. My bad.
Keone won 2 times.
Yeah. Pardon me for that. But I think that he's doing good in those areas. However, Quinton was that was a bad look. It was a really bad look.
Yeah, man, bodybuilding is not a rocket science, Marcus. It's not a rocket science. All you got to do is rest your body and don't compete back to back. Nick Walker should have been on stage. Now, when it comes to Sean Clarita, he admitted to me that he was not 100%. I'm talking to him and Flex Lewis in Vegas, and he said he was a little bit flat, which is I think he was. But then again, he had a tough competition with Keone. Keone looked unbelievable. I think Keone is an incredible bodybuilder, and he really won easily that one show. And he's the future, man. Watch this guy. He's incredible. And he's smart. He's very smart. He doesn't want to get too huge too quick. He wants to take his time. He wants to stay healthy. Now his girlfriend was right behind me, and I talked to her a little bit. And she said, that's what we're doing. He doesn't want to get big too fast, and he's just taking his time. And I said, you guys are smart.
It's pretty
rational.
She coaches.
He looked beautiful.
She helps coach him, which is really dope. I think that's really cool. Like, and I've actually seen a lot of
his girlfriend did help.
She helps like train him and stuff like that. Yeah, like I've seen her. It's actually really a dope thing to where I've seen some of his videos, because he's actually like my favorite body. Like I think he has the highest ceiling in bodybuilding right now. I think he's always had like a very favorite body to me. And like his girl will like she'll be a trainer. She'll be mid set with somebody else, and she'll see that he's in need, but he's finishing off his set, and she'll come help. And like it's really cool to see like a dynamic like that, to where she'll literally like, oh, hold on, she's training with some other athlete, and she'll come and help her dude get like 5 more reps in. So I think that was like such an incredible thing to see. Right?
Same thing with Samson, man. You're right. Yeah. I mean, look at Samson. He's on the same page with his wife, his coach. And their guys are great. I mean, and that seemed to be the case with his Keone and his girlfriend. It's wonderful. I think girlfriend or wife, I'm not 100% sure yet, but they're a great team. She's very, very motivated. She was like behind me screaming and shouting. And I'm like, I'm looking at it like, well, he's great. She said, well, he's my man. Like, I didn't know really. I talked to her a little bit, and
Yeah, so they
she
had
told
like
me
meant the
that
cues.
he's
Like she would say
rational.
Kai Green. Did you hear that? Did you hear her say Kai
No,
Green at
man.
all? Because that was one of their like verbal cues when she was yelling out Kai Green to him to help like give him mental cues on stage. I thought that was pretty dope. Over here playing football and calling plays.
Nah, uh, I tell you what, man, this guy is here to stay. Keone is
Yeah.
very, very professional. He looks the way I like. That's what I like. I like the body that flows. Weight shoulders, small, tiny waist. His waist is like, dude, I bet you his waist is 29 or 28. And he weigh only like 200 pounds. No more than 200.
Yeah.
I mean, she told me it was about 200 pounds.
Yeah.
And I was 196 when I went to Olympia. So, it's not always the biggest. This guy, look at the detail, the beauty of the balance and the flow. I mean, honestly, Keone impressed me the most. He impressed me the most. Seriously.
Yeah,
He's one of the most impressive, beautiful body out there.
Well, John,
And he
how
posed
did
it
you feel
properly.
about the Matt Jansen situation, like with the coaching and all that? Because I know we haven't heard your input on it.
I don't know. It just seemed like, it was like the Bill Cosby thing where once one lady said she got raped by him, like 20 came out in the next week, It was like everybody jumped on the bandwagon. But yeah, I was just confused, like why he was such a great coach for so many years. And then all of a sudden now everybody hates him and everybody's like dropping him,
But you
It
don't
made me
hate
think it
him,
was
but
a
maybe
mutual.
he's just not.
Maybe he's just distracted. Maybe he just
Yeah.
can't put
Yeah.
he doesn't want to put his
That,
attention to it, anymore.
that's what I would say. That's what I think,
And
John. He's just not focusing enough on his athlete. Probably.
Yeah. Well, he came out with a statement after it happened, and I think he did say that he's been focused
He
on other
admitted it.
things.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can only
Yeah,
imagine
maybe he
running the
got fed
business
up.
he's
He's
running.
getting a phone call every hour.
Business. Yeah. But I mean
I gotta tell
there's
you, man.
probably has a lot going on to where I also feel like how you're saying for everybody to come out the woodwork at the same. It almost seemed like it was a mutual thing, like especially with this statement that you say he's putting out. It seemed like I don't think they necessarily left him. I think it was a couple of phone calls between him and his athletes, and he said, "I think I'm going to like step away from this for a little bit." Like it seemed like a very mutual thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but coaching is also pain in the ass at times because I mean, I have some couple of guys I train. One of them is a beginner. Like if he wants to scratch his head, he's gonna call me and tell me, "Oh, I need to scratch my head." I mean, it's just pain in the butt, If you want to coach someone, put 100% into it. If you can't, then don't do it.
Right.
I ask people to call me like maybe once a week, not more. But there's some guys call me every day. I'm like, oh my God. Sometimes I have to ignore them. But whatever the case, he did a good job coaching, and I wish him the best. And I wish, Nick the very best. I hate to see him sitting out on the outline, just checking the contest where he could be up there in the thick of it. He could have been in this winner's circle. He could have.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sure he'll come back with
All right,
vengeance again.
We got one more story to talk about before we leave, and that's the other big story this week was Mike Van Wyck, who is on Fuad's podcast each week. Mike's a huge-looking dude. I met him at the Olympia last year, and he got into an altercation with a guy named Jeff Nippard, who is a big social media guy. He's a natural bodybuilder, and the whole argument was about Jeff basically is like one of these kind of scientific bodybuilders. He goes with research and science, and he says, this exercise is wrong, or if you do it this way, this is wrong. And Mike's view is, hey, if these exercises are wrong, all these huge guys, all these huge bodybuilders have been doing these exercises, and they've been doing it this way for decades.
Forever.
And obviously it works, and then you got these young little guys saying, oh, no, that's wrong. That's the wrong way to do it. And, so that was Mike's view, is that this science-based stuff is overrated. And so Jeff made a video replying to it. Here's the video right here. And Jeff wasn't, I don't think Mike even called him out by name when he made this video. And then Jeff replied to the video, and it was, it was a well done video. I mean, he wasn't like calling Mike out or whatever. So anyways, they were in a gym this week out in Canada. I guess they both live in the same area. and Jeff had his cameraman there, and Mike came over and like pushed him by the throat, and he pushed him down. And of course, this thing went viral because Mike's like 5'5", and Jeff's 5'5", and Mike's like 6'1", 6'2". Mike's a huge dude, and he's got tattoos all over. He looks like a really intimidating guy. So, so what do you guys think about this big story this week?
I didn't see it,
Marcus,
but from what you're telling me, I don't know exactly what happened. But from what you're saying, when people come and complain
here's
about
the video.
exercise mechanic,
Yeah,
also the argument was like, oh, he's complaining about the way they do the exercises, complaining about the mechanic, Jean.
Yeah, I mean they both made videos, where Mike was saying all these exercise science guys, they don't know what they're talking about because they're criticizing all these techniques that obviously work. And then Jeff responded to it, and then they were both in the gym, and Jeff had his camera there because he was filming videos, and then they had some words obviously, and Mike came over and pushed him down. So now, what happened in the aftermath of this was Mike was doing training. He was doing personal training there. He worked there. The gym has now fired him. So now he can no longer go into the gym to do his personal training. And also he's been charged with assault.
Yeah. I mean, you can't get physical with people just because they do certain things. I mean,
Jeff went to the hospital and he got a CT scan, as you can see here.
Wow. I could see that. He pushed him in the neck. And he's a massive guy. I mean, I don't like that bully attitude. It doesn't matter what was said. Nobody touched me. I won't make my move. It's a verbal disagreement. Keep it like baseball disagreement. But if you want to get physical, especially if you're like 6'1", 290, trying to push someone who's like 5'5", that's very unsportsman. This is very unclassy from my perspective. I'm one of those people knowing that I don't back down, but the thing is, I don't attack anyone unless someone attack me or push me, But I think that's not very nice, that to do that to anyone, get physical like that over something stupid.
What do you think, Mark?
The rest. It's not a sport as far as like what was going on in the gym between them. So I mean, I think that the seat. I understand staying in your lane. As far as if Jeff comes across as not that guy, and his video wasn't bad, but he did make a response video, and I've been around enough. The CT scan picture was dumb to me. It seemed very like I get it if it was a troll move, like I'm it's a different whatever, but it looks odd to me. I couldn't do it. I can't be on video getting pushed down like that. And I don't want to dance around it. I'm going to be honest. So like, I agree in the sense that you shouldn't try to start trouble. Your first thing should be to not have it be, we're all men, right? We're grown men. We're all humans. So I don't want to sit there and first go to like my hands for whatever. If we can kind of, have a conversation, even if the conversation gets a little testy, but doesn't have to get disrespectful, that's fine if we're both very opinionated. However, if somebody touches me like that, I don't care how big, and I'm not trying to say this to sound whatever, touch me and you'll see. Like, I'm never going to just kind of take it like that. I even if I'm getting my ASS whipped, I'm coming up wailing. There's a lot of things around me. So it's just weird to me for him to take it to that next level the way he did. It almost seems troll-like a little bit. And I don't know if it's just because we're in like this clickbait culture to where I don't think should Mike have done it? It's not for me to say. I didn't see the full footage to see what took place or what's transpired before. All I see is somebody coming up to somebody in a split second. But
shoving them up.
You kind of, and I think you could, you have to be aware, like maybe if you're dealing with somebody who they're coming with that kind of energy, why would you test it if you don't want to be tested unless you're just doing it?
Do you think there was more to it than the video shows? I mean, that's a couple second video. Do you think that
has to be
Jeff was saying something to him? I mean, Jeff goes there. I don't know if Jeff goes to that gym all the time, but do you think he went to that gym with a cameraman because they had words on a video and he's like, well, let me bring the cameraman, see what happens. Maybe I'll get some views off of this, And then it happened.
Landed.
Do you think maybe he said something to Mike to provoke him, and then he came over and lost his cool and he pushed him, and then, okay, we got it on video now. Now I'm going to go to the hospital and take a selfie by the CT scan and milk this thing for all I can, you know?
Yeah, he just the CT scan picture is what it's off. It's just off-putting. It's offsetting for me. Like I don't.
It's so
because
you won't so stupid. John, sometimes we have disagreement in the gym, but over exercise mechanic and being rude and pushy and do this kind of shoving. I mean, I had fight at Gold Gym a couple of times. I did, but believe me, it wasn't me that instigate the fight. You got some weird people sometime in the gym. They got bad attitude. They push you to the point of that you cannot take it anymore. You know, I mean, I was physical one time, and we all got kicked out of Gold Gym. And Gold Gym told me, come back at night. But anyway, you know, you have people that push your button. Huh?
What did they say? Come back when?
Come back late at night was nobody, you know. You could train later. But, you know, I got to tell you this story. It's a very funny story, Jean. I was training for the Olympia. I was focused. And then I see this guy doing hack squat on the machine that I usually use. So I was very nice. I let people jump in and train with me. So I told the guy, I said, can I jump in quick? He goes, just because you're Mr. Olympia, it doesn't mean you can go anywhere you want. Just like that. I said, dude, why are you saying all this? I let people train with me. And you know what? I didn't even know who was Mickey Rourke at the time. There was Mickey Rourke trainer. So you know what? That guy was like having attitude. That attitude needed an adjustment, John. I could not tell you how rude he was to me. So I said, hey, listen, come on. Let's go ahead, move forward. Let me jump in quick. You know, we could train. Because I let people train with me. So the guy, F in this and talking at me like you know, he was so rude. And then, okay, I said, hurry up, let's move. I'm jumping in anyway. So I would sit down on the hack machine. He'd do like 100 reps. He doesn't want to move, John. And you know me, I'm so focused, I need to train. I had to take him, grab him like this, and throw him away like 10 yards. The guy flew in the air like 10 yards. You know what I mean? He's like, Paul Dillett was sitting on the roof and said, oh my God, Samir, I never see you angry. But that guy was so rude. He said things that you should not be saying. And I was very polite. People know me. I treat people kindly. But, you know, things happen. But not over-exercise mechanic, not over thing. When someone like, you know, cuss you and tell you things, it was unnecessary thing. So that was unnecessary
that's what I wanted to ask you.
Roughness. So we all get kicked out, including Mickey Rourke got kicked out too. They all got kicked out of Gold. That's a lot.
Well, that's why I wanted to ask you. Because,
I don't want to say the rest of it.
We've been training in gyms a long time, and I remember I've always seen disagreements in gyms. You know, back in the '80s, maybe fights. You know, but there was no social media back then. There was no cameras back then. So,
oh man, if that was on a camera, that was crazy.
It's gotten worldwide attention in the last couple of days over a shove. You know, so I mean, I'm not saying it was right. It's wrong that what Mike did. I think everybody agrees it's wrong to go up to, especially a little guy like that, and push him. That was, you know, whether he was provoked or not.
Yeah, that was way too much.
But I'm just wondering if, you know, if it's a little overblown or if it's, you know, maybe it was
planned. Maybe it was planned.
Yeah, to get some attention. Yeah.
Yeah, things happen, you know, man. You get all kind of weird things. Someone took my. One guy took my white shirt and put it on the ground, and I said, "Why did you move my shirt to the ground?" He said, "I didn't know it was you," like this in my face. Yeah, people. Sometimes you gotta hold your horses and be patient. Let the dog bark, you know. Sometimes.
I mean, I've heard stories about gym owners from like the '70s, like Vince Gironda, Steve Mihalik, George Turner. You know George Turner. I mean, these guys would literally get into fistfights with members outside the gym.
And
if they didn't like what you were doing, they would tell you to get the hell out of the gym, and if you challenge them, they would literally get into fistfights with you. I mean,
Joe Gold would tell you, hey, Marcus, come here. How much did you pay? Here's a check. Go home. Bye. That's what Joe Gold was like that. He just doesn't put up with all the bullshit. Vince Gironda was even worse.
It was a different world.
Doesn't happen. Oh my God. But after 45 years, I only have a couple disagreements, and I swear I was pushed to the limit. I'm friendly to people. I would never attack or do anything out of place to anyone. And really, people ask me, can I jump in? I always tell them, go ahead. Now you go to Crunch and you see someone on the bench, see a girl, can I ask, is it okay to jump? You know, I got 5 more sets. I'm like,
well, especially in
what can
today's
I
gym
tell
culture,
her?
there's no gym etiquette, and a lot of these
Oh
younger
my
people that
God.
go to the gym, they have no idea how to train, and they get on the leg press and they're on their phones for 5 minutes in between sets. I mean, I see that
Exactly.
all the time. I go through
And
that
what
too.
can you got to be patient, because otherwise, if it was someone like Vince Gironda, he'll probably jump on him and cook him out, right? Or push him out of the machine, pull him out
Yeah,
of the machine. But, this is a world that we live in. It's very disrespectful. They don't care. And I
Yeah.
tell people, I said, look, I competed over 100 times. I won Mr. Olympia. You're welcome if you want to train with me. And they said, when they find out that I'm a Mr. Olympia, then they want to train with me. But, I said, it's rude if you have the time between set and not to let someone jump in for 15, 20 seconds. Come on. But most people
I
don't
always
understand
ask
that.
people if I can work in. Like if somebody's on, I go, can I work in with you? And they're like, they look at me weird. Like, what does that mean? Work in with you? I
Yeah, right.
think some people feel
Yeah,
like the gym is their own
you
little
know,
haven or whatever.
I,
And they get on the
Yeah.
machine. It's like it's their little machine. They could just get on their phone and they got their music on and
John,
they don't want to be bothered and they don't want anybody else to come near
John,
them. And when you ask them if you can
John,
work in with them, they don't even know what that means.
John, I was coaching the owner of Crunch, his wife, and she's really nice, friendly. I mean, these people are very cool to their clients, and so we went and we asked this lady that we could do like pec deck with her. She doesn't want us to train, and I'm like, but you are resting. We could train now. You know what? And Robin says, give her the check, tell her to get the hell out. She was so rude. She's the owner of the gym. Like, you are resting. Let her train. It takes 30 seconds in between. Why not? So, Robin was so mad at her, the wife, the owner of the gym. Like, oh my, I said, Robin, come on. I mean, I could get sometime in 10 fights with these people, but I ignore them, It's
Yeah.
terrible.
I
And they
think
have a
sometimes
sign
there's
on the wall, you
having.
got to share equipment.
I think there's
You have
sometimes
signed
you can
on the
have like
wall.
too much respect, right? Like, even though I don't believe that's a thing, sometimes I think that about
Mm,
myself. Because I'll be if somebody asks me how many more sets, I'll invite them in. You can work it if you want. You can work in
Yeah.
with me. Things like that. To where I feel like it almost hurts more when you're walking around trying to be such a very like upstanding, respectful human to others. To where when you are treated with like the polar opposite of what you're giving, it stings a
yeah.
lot more. And that's something that I still struggle with, is like, because I really want to be respected. I'm really big on respect and respecting others, so I want it to be done to me in return.
Yeah.
But it kind of makes you feel like, what, like you lose
Like,
faith in it, in the
like
sense
right
of
now,
like when people treat you wrong.
So what's your
Mark,
overall viewpoint of what happened with Mike Van Wyck and Jeff Nippard?
mine, I think it was rude. It was pushy, and I wouldn't. I mean, this is for me, the guy should be kicked out of the gym because that was rude, very, very rude. I wouldn't do that. And then I want to add really quick that when you go to Gold Gym or World Gym, you feed people, they will let you jump in. But when you go to some of those new club, like for example, let's say Crunch, where they have people that they're not from within, they don't understand. So you got to be patient a little bit. But anyway, yeah, that guy was pushy and rude, and he should be kicked out of the gym. I don't care if he weighed 300 pounds. That's not nice.
What do you feel, Marcus?
I felt bad for Jeff until the CT picture. I think that there's probably more to the story. I think that if I was to be pushed by anybody, I would have to retaliate. I would have to fight back. So it's not really the language that I speak. If that makes any sense, it's hard for me to really be in that mindset of this individual, because
Well, not just what
I,
you would have did, but I mean, what do you think? What do you think about the whole incident?
I think it's funny.
It's a plan.
I'm not gonna lie. I think it's
You
funny.
think it's
I
planned?
think the fact that the whole bodybuilding world is talking about it, I think it's funny. I think it's
So how do you see it, John?
It's goofy to me, to be honest.
Well, I think Mike was wrong to do what he did. I think he kind of lost his cool. I don't know if there's something was said beforehand to provoke him. I think that might have happened, and that's not shown on the video. But I think he made a mistake in doing that. But I just wonder if there was like a plan to it. Like, let's bring the cameraman in, and I know he's going to be there, and maybe we can something. I don't know. I mean,
I know the
especially
reason, John.
the picture at the hospital. I mean, that just makes me think something's up. I mean, if that would have happened to me, I don't know if I would have went to the hospital. But if I would have went to the hospital, I wouldn't have taken a picture and put it on social media. Like, here I am at the hospital getting my neck checked.
I know what caused the whole thing, John.
Somebody would have pushed me like that, like a big dude like that, and I landed on my ass 20 feet away. I wouldn't have shown the video.
You will look for
I'd be like, destroy that film,
You look.
I'll be afraid my girl's not going to find me attractive anymore.
That's what happened when you. That's what happened. That's what happened
at the hospital.
Hey, that's what happened when you take too much testosterone and then you start converting to estrogen. You get the aggressive with being ultra mean. It seems that way to me. I mean, come on, for God's sake, over what? Come on. I mean, you're gonna have a guy sometime that have Colt 45 on his waist too while he's training. So I wouldn't do that, man. Some people would go out there fuck you up. So why? Why are you being so pushy?
If I was in a gym with someone like Mike and I knew he didn't like me, I would go over and like say shit to him. I'd stay as far away. I'd go to another gym.
That's pushy. There's no way I would react like that toward anyone under any. I don't care if I was 2% body fat and on edge. I would never attack people like that. That's rude. That's unacceptable behavior.
What do you think about all the reaction to it? Like, the whole world's talking about it for the last 2 days.
That's what shocked me.
That's the world we're in. We're in the jungle right now. People talk about anything right now. Welcome to the jungle.
Yeah. I'm just expecting to hear the doo-doo-doom, the TMZ noise. Every bodybuilding channel I see on YouTube, I'm just expecting it to be like, insert TMZ noise.
That's what I was thinking. Like, okay, the guy pushed him down and it was wrong, and he hit him in the throat. But I was thinking, man, back in the 80s, there used to be fights all the time. Not every day or anything, but it would happen. Where guys would get in altercations and then go outside and fight, so.
I've seen fight before, John, in the gym where David Paul was Lyle Alzado. Those are fight. You know what I mean? Big guys, big guys fighting with each other. Now, that's something you want to put on the social media with two monsters, not one small guy with one big 900-pound gorilla, which is...
I mean, it's wrong. There should never be fights in the gym, and I think anybody who gets in a fight in the gym should be kicked out because that's not the place for it. But
that's called unsportsman conduct. This is it.
Yeah,
unsportsmanlike called. Yeah, terrible.
You don't want. I've seen these videos where there's like 6 guys fighting and they're throwing bars around. I mean, that's just crazy. I mean, someone's going to get hurt. I mean, not just them, but some innocent person walking around the gym's going to get hurt. That's just crazy. Those people should be arrested and kicked out.
And if you look at the reason, there's no stupid reason. It's not worth any, nothing terrible. Over what?
Right.
Mechanic and being scientific? Fuck that, Anyway. So what else to talk about, John?
We'll wrap it up there. That's it.
That's it for today.
We'll see what next week. We'll see what next week brings. I saw a post from RX Muscle, and they said, "Poor Samson, he wins the Olympia, and all everybody's talking about this week is, Matt Jensen's coaching and this fight between Mike and Jeff." So Samson didn't even get his recognition for winning the Olympia.
Samson is getting all the respect that he deserves, and really, I am personally very happy for him and for his lovely wife for a very well done job. I mean, again, I'm also not feeling terrible for anyone. I mean, we know that Hadi went backward a little bit. Hadi did, and we know Derek didn't look like the Derek that could be, a troublemaker. He was slightly not himself. So, they're all still champion. They're all great guys, and they'll all come back. They will all come back.
Yep.
with vengeance.
All right, guys. Well, have a great weekend, and we will talk next week. Whatever else is happening in the world of bodybuilding.
Sounds good. Good talking to you guys
All right,
as
Joe.
always.